As far as my disability goes, what I had is named torticollis. I was born with it. It was very present at birth. Just like most cases, for me, it was something that my family had to eventually learn about, of course. I'm very appreciative of everyone that played a huge role in not just my safety, but my overall well-being and commitment to the understanding of my particular disability. It was something that I consider to be, or anybody would consider to be, very rare. I feel like growing up, it was something that I kind of knew I had. I could never really get the name right. I promise you, I'm just now recognizing the name until recently. Like, for some reason, I went years without really knowing the name. I don't know if I just couldn't pronounce it or something, but I do know that for the longest time it was considered a very rare medical condition. And then as I got a little older, literally in my early 20s, I'm in my early 20s now, and I'm realizing while scrolling on TikTok and things like that, that there are parents and other people that share the same disability as me that are coming out and they're saying that they have torticollis as well. And that's actually really, really comforting, because I went so long in my life feeling like that it was something that was very rare, and I feel like it was so hard for people to really understand because, once again, unfortunately, maybe people weren't really doing or really cared enough to be educated. Hi everyone, my name is Michaela. You may also know me as Sicker Than Your Average. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I am so excited to get into today's video because this video is actually really, really long awaited. I say long awaited because it's something that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. And if you are new here, I am a creator. I've been creating for quite a while, but it's been my dream since I was literally 15 years old. And of course, I tried then, wasn't really as consistent, but here I am now, being one of your most favorite creators ever, or soon to be one of your most favorite creators ever. And it just feels so good to be here tonight talking to you guys because this video might just be one of my most favorite yet, considering it's going to involve a certain level of authenticity and transparency that, I'll be honest, I may not have put a whole lot into my other videos. Like, I have, but as far as, this detailed or exclusive, maybe not so much. Today's video is going to be about navigating my multiverse with a disability. Yes, I have a disability, and in a way, disabilities look different for everyone. For some, it may be more so physical, others, it may be mental. It really doesn't matter, Either way, awareness needs to be spread because it's so important to actually spread awareness and for others to gain awareness about these things, because those of us with disabilities do not deserve to be excluded or made fun of or made to feel like we don't matter, because we do. And there's a lot of us that are really, really cool, really talented, and deserve to be in these same shared spaces with our peers. Navigating my multiverse with my disability has been quite interesting, considering I have been doing content for at least a couple of years now. It's been different. It's been interesting. It's been sometimes a little overwhelming to just come on and be myself and whatever that may be for me. And I know that's somewhat of a shared experience, especially when you're still so new to doing whatever it is you may do, basically. And over the years, I realized that this was something that I may have always tried to hide about myself, not just because I wanted to hide it, but because other people in the past tried to shame me for it. Much like some people with disabilities, not everyone's story is the same, but some of us are sometimes bullied or ridiculed ridiculed, even when we're just basically minding our business. And I think that's very, very alarming, that sometimes people tend to be very criticizing of people when they're just doing nothing but being themselves, whatever that may look like for them, and sometimes choose to be uneducated about the things that make someone who they are. And honestly, we don't judge those people. I mean, of course, we defend ourselves and, we say what we gotta say to get them off us. But at the same time, I heard this quote one time, and it was basically saying every day we're presented with a choice. And whatever that choice may look like for us, sometimes you have to make the decision, not only as an adult per se, but just as a person, to want to do the right thing. And honestly, criticizing and judging people for disabilities, even if it just so happens to be something that is new to you or something that you just don't seem to understand, is not okay. You have to be willing to be accepting, be loving, non-judgmental, and make sure people understand that this is a safe space, whether you're coming with, whether someone is coming with a disability or not. And as someone that was bullied for a very long time, regarding my disability and the things that make me different, the things that actually make me very unique, it's very interesting to be on this safe journey back to myself. I tell people all the time, I wish people had safe journeys back to themselves, because ultimately we can try to be a million and one things all day, whether they resonate for us or not, but you can't really run from being yourself, especially when your divine purpose is to simply be authentic. And as someone that has tried to maybe mask myself a little, and at times try my hardest to navigate my world, especially being amongst so many other people, growing up in school, people that I just met through passing, like literally people that I met once and maybe had never really seen again. No one sometimes ever really talks about the courage that it takes to really go out in the world with a disability and just be yourself, especially when you're still learning to be comfortable with that. Thankfully, my journey has been quite an interesting one, but like I said, it just did nothing but bring me back to myself. And that's why, as someone that has worked hard on this journey to accept myself and make sure that I'm being surrounded with people that do nothing less but accept me, and really appreciate me and love me for who I am, I feel the need to want to use my platform to make sure that other people are being loved and cared for as well, whether they have something that makes them unique or not, but especially people that feel like they have physical disabilities or even mental disabilities that kind of make it a little bit more unique to go out into the world and just simply participate in their divine calling. For me, this is new for me, so we're holding each other's hand while we do this together. But whether you have a disability or not, we are welcomed here. This is a safe space. I really disabilities, whether it's a shared experience as far as your medical disability or anything like that or not, because some are rarer than others, and I think that's actually kind of cool, because I feel like no matter how unique it may feel to go out into the world and basically take on a journey that not everyone may share with you as far as like what they have in common, I think it's still very cool that the Most High trusts you and they trust me to basically go out into the world and do great things with what they blessed us with. Being disabled is not a bad thing. It's not a curse. It's not, oh man. It's not anything to be scared of. In fact, it actually adds to you're beautiful. And that even applies even if you're a guy watching this and, you know, you're trying to navigate the world, you know, especially with like dating and stuff, just like a woman would be. But one thing or one advice I would give to someone is to make room for the people that love you, because no matter how hard it may feel in the present, there are so many more people that you haven't met yet that will love you for you. You know, whether that be a partner, a friend, supporters, or even strangers on the street that you just find yourself saying hi and bye to, and they just randomly compliment on your outfit, and you may never see each other again. But there are so many people that are going to see you and think like, oh my gosh, this person is like really beautiful. This person is really handsome. This person is like really cool. This person is really talented. You know, I love what they do, and actually we need to call them to be a part of our team. You know, it's like, it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to be afraid of, especially if you've endured bullying when being yourself. And when I was in middle school, I endured a lot of bullying. Like as a kid, I was definitely picked on, and that was like really, really, really hard, even when I didn't always want to say it or mention it. Especially when I was in middle school, kids were actually very, very cruel. And I wasn't the only one experiencing it, but as far as I know, with me, because of my disability, I endured a lot of just judgment, you know, and a lot of immaturity, you know, and I'll say that deep down inside, I do forgive those people. You know, I'm not going to really get into that whole testament in itself, because I do feel like that's a very private aspect of the journey. But it's not that I don't forgive those people, because actually I think it's really important to forgive people. That's kind of an unpopular take, but it's really important to forgive people, because deep down inside you have to eventually pick yourself up and you have to move forward with your life and the way you perceive things, and you have to make sure that you're keeping your heart light and your spirit right. And enduring those things in middle school was very hard for me. You know, even after I was able to pick up the pieces and move forward by, you know, creating another environment for myself, I moved schools. Like, this is why I say I'm kind of excited to kind of get into these things to some extent, because I feel like it allows y'all to like kind of know these aspects of me and realize the similarities maybe in your story that can help you. Because for me, it took me a while, but I was able to just pick up the pieces. I went to a new school. Kids were still kind of like immature, you know, in middle school when I got to 8th grade. But, you know, they weren't as cruel with their approach, at least not to my face. I don't know what they were saying behind my back, but they definitely wasn't saying it to my face. But I just remember it being really hard to like want to move forward at times, because I had gained such a deep heartache with what I had went through the previous year being in school, and it was very eye-opening for me. And I don't know, you know, maybe those same people that ended up causing me that heartache will watch this, and if you are watching it, I'm doing okay. You can break me, that I will say. And I hope that, you know, as you guys go on to continue to live your life and have families of your own, that you teach your children to operate from the heart. And if you guys are watching this, you know exactly who I'm talking to. You know exactly who I'm talking about. Because at the end of the day, once again, you know, each day we're presented with a choice. And at that time, even for us to be so young, you guys chose your choice every single day, no matter how haunting it was, you know. But as adults, the only thing you guys can really do is, you know, work on your spirit. Bullying's stupid. I'm just gonna say that. It's really stupid. If you're gonna do anything, choose to do the right thing. I was able to pick up the pieces, and I really want others to be able to do the same. And this is just basically an introduction to my channel for those that have been through something, you know, especially along the lines of any similarities of what I've been through. And we can come here and we can join together and we can just be one big old safe space, because I'm a girl and I'm a very cool girl and I love cool things, but I also have a story. And I'm realizing that, you know, I can get on here and I can show my shopping hauls and my makeup and my fun clothes and my hair and my nails and my jewelry and my this and my that, but I know my purpose, and I know that it's also in alignment with being myself and helping others to eventually be on that same walk, because we only get one life. As much as I believe in reincarnation and all that great stuff, you know, in reality we really do only get one life, where we come here as ourselves, look like ourselves, be ourselves, our same story. And no matter how discouraging it may have felt to be able to be yourself, you know, in reality the Most High places his stories onto people that he feels like are more than capable, you know. And I know we say, like, dang, like, am I really your strongest soldier? Like, you know, like, does this have to be my story? Like, I find in my spirituality that, you know, most times when the Most High is giving you the green light to be everything you're called to be, you gotta run for it and you gotta take it, you know, because he's giving you this story, and no matter how discouraging it may have felt in the beginning, and no matter who may have tried to shame you for it because it felt more unique, you know, than others or whatever, you know, when you're given your path, grab the light and light your way through that path. Like, there really is no other way to put it. And I say that with so much love, because even I had to teach myself that. But, you know, you really just gotta always be yourself. Always. Whatever that may look like for you. There's so many different disabilities in the world, maybe even some that some of us haven't even learned yet. But I guarantee you, there's probably going to be someone that the same way I'm doing uses their platform to teach and lead with love and educate. Sorry, y'all. And having you guys here with me as my supporters is everything. You know, it's like I get on camera and I do and keep fulfilling my purpose, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I really have people that want to watch me and really see something special in me and say, like, hey, I'm gonna keep watching her. Early on, I had to learn not to rely on people's validation, because clearly when they felt like they could validate me to some extent, you know, they were being really cruel with their approach, you know. And that's when I had to realize, like, actually, I'm that girl no matter what, you know. Like, there's really not much you can say or do that can kind of like make me feel any less than, because I know who I am, Most High knows who I am, my spirit team knows who I am, and you know who I am. And that's why you're probably going out of your way to tear me down, because you see it. Personally, you know, I suggest never really overindulging in what people say. Of course, we're human. We have every right to cry. We have every right to, you know, stay in bed a little longer when something deeply affects us, because I hate when people do that and make you feel like you're not entitled to feel your emotions, or you have to feel them for only but so long. You cannot tell people how to feel and how long they should feel it. I want you guys to always feel comfort in my channel. You know, maybe not every video is going to be a sit-down video just like this, where we're just chatting it up. And, you know, I don't know, you know, some days I'm going to be doing my weekly vlogs, my glimpse of my weekend vlogs, midweek vlogs, and all that other stuff. But at least you guys feel comfort in knowing, like, even with my disability, whether it be physical, mental, if she's doing it, then I can do it too. While still respecting my privacy and my energy, I know that I can still get on here and, you know, lead with love and basically be like that girl that comes on and shows the world, like, you're not gonna leave us out. You know, we have every right to be here with everyone else. You know, we're just as talented, we're just as capable, and I think that we have a story, and that makes us even more intriguing. But I don't know, I just feel like I'm a realist, you know? So if I see that someone has a really inspiring story, I'm gonna look into that. You know, whether their story has to do with being from, you know, I don't know, the hood and making it out, or being a person with a disability themselves and, you know, really showing on their platforms how other people can be themselves, whether they relate or not, you know. And I think that's why one of my favorite artists to this day is Fetty Wap. And we just so happen to be from the same place because he has a story. And me being young, I was like about 10 or 11 when Fetty Wap first released his songs, especially for everyone to hear. You know, it's one thing to be from Patterson and you have this great artist coming from where you're from, but it's another thing when you see the whole world loving this artist and who they are. And I was always just so really intrigued by his story and his diagnosis and the fact that he came into this world being himself and he came into his own person and this industry and followed suit with love, his artistry, his creativity, and his disability. And he showed the world that you can still have fun, you can still be yourself, you can still be loved. And if there are people making jokes or whatever, I mean, not much they could say when you're the one laughing to the bank. I mean, no shade, no shade, but a little bit of shade. Authenticity is a superpower, and no matter what your story surrounding your authenticity may be, it has the capability of being a very inspiring story. And I think for those of us that are blessed enough to carry these journeys of navigating life with our disabilities, or just anything that we choose to share with the world and really create awareness on, you know, that's a very big deal, you know, and that is something that deserves to be celebrated and approached with such love. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. This video endured a level of comfort that I definitely needed to get through and post it and just kind of make this for you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you guys so much for supporting me exactly for me. It is so well appreciated, and it is so comforting to know that you guys are here and are just rocking out with me. Like, I'm so thankful. I love you guys so much. And if you have a disability or anything that makes you unique, well, having a disability is unique, but you know what I mean. Like, if you're just basically someone that's navigating your own multiverse with something that makes you unique and going out into the world, when you feel the time is right, please be sure to share. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys. I look forward to spreading more awareness and helping everyone that I can help, because it means a lot to me. You guys mean a lot to me, and I'm just really, really excited to make this a new thing. I love you guys, and please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye!